Hello, I'm Miss RKB. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a little minute since I posted, but I'm back with another review. I had to tune in and watch this Jamie Foxx special. Everybody was talking about it, and it was people's reaction to it that kind of intrigued me. I seen people say a lot of different things. You had the naysayers. People was calling it demonic and basically saying it wasn't good, right? Very few people, but I did hear that. Okay, a lot of people was saying how it touched them and made them cry. I seen a lot of people was just talking about how spirit filled it was and how they got kind of caught up. So I was like, let me tune in, let me watch this. And I really didn't know what it was exactly. And I think I looked it up and I said, oh, it's a stand-up. He's doing stand-up comedy, right? And y'all, what's crazy is I knew I used to watch the Jamie Foxx show. I know Jamie Foxx is funny. He's a comedian first, but I kind of forgot because I know Jamie Foxx more so as an actor slash musician. I kind of forget that he's funny too. So me watching this was really like my first time seeing him in like a stand-up comedy setting. So yeah, I really love that he kind of did a comedy stand-up, but he got serious. He joked around, but it got serious. It got serious. But he told everything. He told everything that happened to him, and it's called Jamie Foxx. What happened was ... Okay? And just a warning, I am going to talk about the full special that I watched. It's going to be spoilers, okay? So please, if you haven't watched it, go watch it and then maybe listen to this review. Or if you know you're not going to watch it, I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty much going to tell you about it, okay? This stand-up show was located in Atlanta. I remember when I first saw him walk in and I saw the crowd was so loving. It was all different nationalities or ethnic groups, but it was mainly a lot of black people, let's be real. So I love the setting and everybody was just welcoming him with open arms like a family. They was, having a good time. He came out, he looked amazing, he looked healthy. And I was like, where is this located? So it's in Atlanta. It was located in Atlanta. And he kept saying throughout the whole special, Atlanta saved my life. And the significant thing about Atlanta, too, is this is where his accident happened. It took place in Atlanta. And he also talked about how his first stand-up comedy show was in Atlanta. I think he said like 92, 91. He did his first stand-up show in Atlanta. So he has a connection with Atlanta, and he just kept saying, Atlanta saved my life, Atlanta saved my life. He has so much love for Atlanta, and I'm sure Atlanta has so much love for you, Jamie. Okay? He's welcoming the crowd. They playing music. He dancing around. But before they actually showed him walk in on stage and before they were playing the music and everybody was getting with him, they were showing TikTok clips. Well, they showed like a news clip, and then they were showing TikTok clips. And this is why I cannot stand TikTok, or maybe it's just the internet in general. But they were showing how people was saying outrageous things about him, right? Basically writing him off, saying that he was deceased, he didn't make it. He was in a wheelchair. They don't think he ever gonna be able to come back from his illness. Crazy stuff, right? Everybody and they think pieces on TikTok. But it's not gonna get banned. I don't think it's gonna get banned. I know they saying they gonna get rid of TikTok. They not. So anyway, they showed the TikToks. I got a little upset because I was like, see, people talk crazy on internet. So they show him walk in, he's dancing, and he gets straight to the point. He said, look, y'all, they wrote me off. They talking about I'm not able to walk. I'm dead, and writing me off. He was like, they thought so, but look, I'm here walking right now. And then he started playing Walk It Out, Walk It Out. And he started dancing and everything. Everybody hype, dancing with him. So yeah, it was just good vibes. And he was just talking about the accident that happened. And he said it happened in April. And he doesn't remember any of it. He said it was a span of 20 days where he was basically out. He said from April to May the 4th. May the 4th is when he woke up. It was like April the 11th, I think. From April the 11th through May the 4th, he was out. But he woke up on May the 4th. But he basically was just saying how, he was making jokes, everything. I was laughing or whatnot. And he kind of got serious and he got quiet. And he was like, I'm going to tell y'all what happened. And you know me, I can't take nothing serious. So I'm about to laugh. I'm like, he playing. He takes a seat. It was a stool. He took a seat on the stool. He was like, Lord, help me, help me tell this story. You can see he's emotional. So he starts telling the story of what happened. And I remember I was like, oh, I'm over here laughing. Let me get serious. It's getting real. So he telling his story about what happened. And he was just saying how, he was in the emergency room, I believe, and he was having a severe headache. And he was saying that all he remember is being in the emergency room with some homeboys. They didn't know what to do. He was asking for some medicine. And he was finna take some medicine, I think, penicillin or Tylenol. And he said he just went out. He just went out. I'm kind of glad that he kind of did this special and broke everything down because I didn't know the severity of it. I just knew he had something happen. I thought it was a seizure. Or I forgot. I really didn't know. I just know that he almost died. He almost lost his life. But come to find out, y'all, he literally passed away. It's kind of crazy, but he literally kind of passed away. So he really left and then came back, I guess you can say. I didn't know that. So, I'm sitting here quiet, paying attention, right? And I just love how, Jamie Foxx, he was just so appreciative and he was just so grateful. He was like, I'm glad I can look out and see my family. And he was just like, life is so great. You can tell he's really just happy to be alive and everything that God brought him through, even though he had to go through some humbling, it really just made him a better and a newer person. I'm going to get into all that. But yeah, it was just beautiful seeing him just so lively and just so appreciative of the small things, right? Being able to walk. He addressed some things. He was talking about Diddy, right? He made some hilarious jokes the whole time, but he was just like, people saying I'm a clone, people saying all kind of stuff on the internet. He was like, they were talking about Diddy did something to me, and he was saying how he left every party early. He said, any party I went to with Diddy, I left early. I knew something was wanting up, I left, right? So he addressed that. I love that he did that. So you conspiracy theorists got to stop. The internet is a wild place. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, it will take you there, plus some, okay? You'll end up in Mars, okay? But he was telling the story about, so basically what had happened when he went out, he suffered with brain bleeding, which went into a stroke. I think he said the doctor gave him a shot and he went home, right? When all this stuff had happened, he talks about his sister, his baby sister, who was 4'11", and full of love. She basically had to take charge, right? And she had to come and see about him or whatnot. And she instantly knew, something's wrong. Because he was saying how before one of the doctors just basically gave him a shot and he went home. But she was like, let's take him somewhere. And he was saying how, she's not from Atlanta, but he was in Atlanta. She's driving around trying to find him a hospital. They went to Piedmont Hospital. And basically the Lord led her there, right? Because she didn't really know where to go. She ends up at Piedmont Hospital. She takes Jamie there. He was in a bad state. The doctor told him, look, if we don't go in now, he got brain bleeding. He's suffering from a stroke. If we don't go in now, in his mind, in his head, we're going to lose him. Kind of talks about how, sometimes we make jokes and stuff. in hard situations to keep from crying. But she said something to the extent of like, I mean, you can go in there, but you ain't gonna find nothing. Talking about his head. And the doctor's like, what? And she was like, I talked to God about it. You ain't gonna find nothing. Basically saying all is well. So basically they went in, did whatever. Like the sister said, they didn't find nothing. The doctor said, you was right, we didn't find nothing. She said, I've been praying. So basically she had to put her prayers in for Jamie, right? So he's in his state, right? The sister is just having, she was like the main one that had to take charge. And then he also talks about how his daughter basically held him down. His whole family held him down, and I love that. He was basically saying the whole time I was sick, they held me down. He was saying how the oldest daughter didn't really allow for him to be seen even after the fact. Like she made sure that like he stayed out of the media until he was A-okay. And he was like, I didn't want y'all to see me like that. So thank God, my daughter knew to like keep me away, because he was like, I would have been a meme. And he was talking about how he had a shake, how his head would shake. And, he was just saying, I understand now. When I see people who got sicknesses and stuff like that, I get it. But, through this whole thing, it's serious, but he's making jokes every now and again. He actually said that, like, while the whole thing happened, like, he said his life didn't flash before him. He said he didn't see the light, but he did say he was in a tunnel. And he said he was kind of worried because he thought he was going to see the light. But he was like, I'm in this tunnel. Like, am I going to the right place? So I thought that was interesting because I always hear about people talk about the light, right? That's how I guess you about to leave here, honey. Your soul is on its way to heaven. I feel like he left here for a moment, but he said he was in a dark tunnel. He do remember being in a dark tunnel. That's really all he remember. So basically the 20 days went by and now he's awake. May the 4th, he's awake, and he was just saying how he didn't remember nothing. He didn't remember nothing. He said he was just he woke up and he was in a wheelchair. And he was asking his people like, why am I in this wheelchair? I'm Jamie Foxx. I had a stroke. Are you kidding me? I'm Jamie Foxx. Let me get up out this just wheelchair. And he said he couldn't move. He looking like, what happened to me? Like, did somebody do this to me? Like, what happened? And they telling him, you had a stroke. You've been out of it for 20 days. And he just talks about his condition. He said he had a lot of like dizzy spells. He couldn't really do for himself. He couldn't bathe himself. He couldn't use the bathroom by himself. Basically, he was saying he couldn't do much. They're taking him to rehab, and he just talks about how it's like his ego, I guess you can say. He was just saying how he didn't want to deal with none of the therapists. He didn't want to hear what none of them had to say. He's sitting here questioning, like, why am I going through this? Why me? God, like, what's going on? I'm Jamie Foxx. I got a stroke. This is some old man stuff. I ain't that old. One of his nurses, it was so funny, but he was talking about one of the nurses that took care of him, and he was just kind of like saying in his mind, like, why this woman taking care of me like this? Like, is she a fan, or she done seen some movies? Like, why she doing all this? And they had to tell him, like, this is your nurse, right? And she's taking care of him. Like I said, he can't do for himself, so she taking care of him. She was like, all right, it's time to bathe. And he like, okay, well, turn the water on. I got it. And she like, no, I'm going to help you bathe. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure like this, like I said, this is humbling. A grown man you can't do for yourself. He was like, I'm Jamie Foxx. I can't just let you bathe me, honey. You can't see all of this. And then she drops the bomb on him. Boo-boo, I done already seen it. I've been bathing you. I've been taking care of you for 20 days. And then he was like, oh, my God. Oh my God. He couldn't do it all for himself. He talked about how, they had to wipe him and bathe him, and basically he had to go through a few physical therapists. He's blowing all these therapists out. I don't need y'all. I'm Jamie Foxx. Woot, 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 woot. I don't want to go through this. Da 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 da. So everybody's like, let's bring Holly. Let's get Holly. Let's get Holly. He was like, man, ain't nobody bring Holly. It's gonna be the same thing. So he talks about how Holly basically was very stern, assertive. She came in there. He was like, who are you? I'm Holly. Get up. Get up. Come on. We got to go. Look, stand up. Look to your right. Look to your left. She doing routines with him. And he kind of like, feeling away like I'm Jamie Foxx. Do. I ain't got to do all this and that. And she was like, all right, well, if you so big and bad, stand up. Walk to me. And he was just saying how he stood there and couldn't even take a step. She was like, see? But she said, look, Jamie Foxx, I can help you. I can help you. Let's do this thing. Let me help you. Let's get some work done so you can get up out of here and keep on living. To tell your story. And I love that. That's sometimes what you need. She was like, you keep talking about you, Jamie Foxx. You keep talking about this. You keep talking about that. That was the old you. This is the new you. Right? So thank God for Holly. So Holly is doing his little routines. Hold yourself, look left, look right. Whatever he had to do to start back walking. And he talks about how basically he questioned God and was talking to God, right? And I think this is probably like one of the highlighted moments of the special. God is me, Jamie Foxx. And then he even went as far to saying his real name, y'all. I didn't even know his real name. Let me pull it up. Eric Bishop. That's his name. What? But he was like, it's me, Eric Bishop. You know me. He was just like, Lord, why I gotta go through, why this happened to me? All these bad people in the world. Like, did you make a mistake? He said, did Peter write the wrong name down? I'm just saying. Like, what is going on? Why is this happening to me? And he said, God responded. He said, you talking about all these bad people in the world. You worried about why this ain't happening to them. He said, God said, they don't belong to me. You do. And y'all, this part messed me up. I was like, you're my child. He said, remember, you used to pray every time before you ate your food, you would say your blessing. He said, you used to play the piano in church. He said, Bob, where you been? You ain't been to church in how long? You asking me questions. And I'm saying, y'all, that's why you got to be careful when you ask God questions, because when he answers, you're going to be like, ouch. So he making excuses. He like, God, but why this happening to me? You know what I'm saying? I got kids to live for, right? Basically just saying like, why I got to suffer? And then he said, God said, my son suffered. And he talking about his 2 kids. He said, I had 1 son. He said, I gave you 2 daughters. That was my one and only begotten son, the Christ. And like, when I tell you God will humble you, he said, I blessed you with this. I blessed you with this that happened to you. This is a blessing. Because God is going to get the glory. God gets the glory for what he does. But he was just saying how, God had to humble him. People think stuff cannot happen to them. A lot of these celebrities, I love that he was so transparent. A lot of these celebrities are just people who got money, everyday people. They be so full of themselves. They forget about God, what God has done for them. And one little thing goes wrong, they mad at God. That's why sometimes we have to go through trials. I be realizing that's when I talk to God the most. I talk to him. I try to talk to him too when things are going good, but like I talk to God the most when I'm going through it. What? He has to get the glory. He will get the glory. Okay. So he was just talking about how, he's in recovery, and he was saying how it was one part where I guess it was like a big rehabilitation room, and it was other patients there. And, Molly, the therapist, he was just saying how, when he entered the room, she was like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like that?" And she was like, "Look around. You gonna get out of here. You gonna be able to walk again, talk again. You see some of these people in here, they ain't never gonna leave." And he said he was looking around. He saw people in the wheelchairs. He said he saw one lady, all she could do was some little thing she had. All she could do was turn the little thing, move her arms. That's about it. She was like, be grateful. Where you are right now is not where you're going to always be. And he starts looking at it different. Like, Lord, bless those people who are worse off than me. Ain't that the truth, y'all? We always complain about what we don't have. It's people that ain't even got that what we got. And look, they don't even ask for a thing. They don't ask for a thing. We so unappreciative sometimes, ungrateful. Just saying, humble yourself, because God will. And then he talks about how he had to kind of make jokes and be funny. He was like, that's one thing I always knew I could do. He said, I just had to joke and be funny, kind of like stay alive, to keep myself sane. And he was just talking about how, he would go through little spells, I guess, every so often. He was just going down the line. He was saying, one day I was Denzel, and he does like the best Denzel impression. But he was just saying like he had to be these people and joke around and basically be in character to stay sane and to be motivated to keep living. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of impersonations. It was like Mike Tyson. He did Donald Trump. Oh, he did Jay-Z. And that's another thing. He was talking about Cat Williams. He did a lot of Cat Williams impersonations. But yeah, that was like the funniest part, I think. But anyway, he did all these impersonations, and he was saying how he had to joke around and be in character just to be able to survive, right? He was like, if I can be funny, I can stay alive, something like that. So he kind of starts talking about his daughters. And I think this was the part that it was just very sentimental to me. I didn't cry. I know a lot of people talked about how they cried and got caught up. But I didn't cry. But I definitely had moments of like just feeling it, like, and just nodding my head and really, I felt some things, but I didn't cry. So anyway, he was just saying how his vitals were really bad. And they was just saying how if they don't keep his vitals, he had to take all this medicine, but the medicine wasn't working. And if they couldn't keep his vitals together and keep him calm, he could pass away. So he was just saying how like certain people, family, black people, honey, they couldn't be in a room. They couldn't come to the hospital and see him because it would make him, his vitals go crazy and he wouldn't be calm. So anyway, he talked about his daughter, and I think she was 14, and how since she was 10 years old, she's always played the guitar. And they said that she was like, I know what my daddy needs, right? And basically she would go when he was in the hospital, I guess in a coma or just, laying in the bed. I guess is it unconscious? I don't know. But anyway, he was in a hospital bed, and they said that they basically told him. I'm sure they had to tell him these things because he said the nurses would watch. But the daughter was like, I know what my daddy needs. They said she would go in the hospital room and play her guitar to her daddy. They said his vitals would go down. And I remember he said the nurses was wow, like, wow, this is a miracle. And it just shows that his daughter has the same gift of music that he has. And it's a gift from God. It can bring a presence, right? When you got your gift and you working in it and you put your soul and your heart in it, you know what I'm saying? So through her music, a miracle happened. God intervened and God showed up. So anyway, that was beautiful that his daughter would go in there and play her guitar. And he was just saying how since she was 10, wherever they would go, she would bring her guitar. And he's talking about her. She walks out, honey, hair bigger than mine, y'all. Beautiful girl. She got her guitar. I was like, oh, she about to play. So he was talking about his daughter. She started playing a guitar, y'all. I'm quiet. I'm just quiet. And she was basically said, she told him, Daddy, I knew you had to live because we got to perform together. I always knew we had to perform together. So they start performing. She playing. Jamie Foxx, he does like this spoken word gospel song. He kind of like talking. Then he starts singing. It was just so beautiful. And then he also shows, while he's doing this presentation or whatever, or this song, this performance, he talks about how he wanted God to keep him alive, right? So he can be in his children's life, and how he got to walk his daughter down the aisle. And they show a picture in the background where he walked his daughter down the aisle when she got married. So it was just a beautiful moment. Beautiful moment. And talented girl. And so they perform. The daughter leaves. And he referenced her as his spiritual defibrillator. I thought that was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful moment. I had chills. I just love that. So anyway, so after that moment, he goes to the piano. And he starts playing the piano. Basically, plays this song, and you can tell he wrote it. And it was just talking about God and how he's good. Y'all know the saying, God is good. Wait, all the time, God is good. God is good all the time. So, yeah, he was singing, and it was a beautiful song. And what I like most about this part was I did a video on my main YouTube channel, and I talked about some of the artists who are more so in the secular world, but artists who I would love for them to do like a gospel song or a gospel album. And Jamie Foxx is one of those artists that I named. So I just love seeing him in his setting. And we might get a album or a song or something. That was a beautiful song. It sounded like a gospel song. But he just talked about God, and, he was playing the piano. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. And then, he just kind of thanks everybody who prayed for him, who sent him well wishes. And he was basically saying, like, no matter what, people are going to keep calling him a clone. The internet is going to be the internet. But he was like, basically, to the haters and to everybody on the internet that got something to say, he basically was like, F y'all. But he was like, more importantly, I want to thank all of y'all. Thank Atlanta. Thank you, everybody who prayed and wished me well. And he was saying how, he would see people out and about, and they would be like, glad you're okay. Glad you made it through. Right? So he's basically a walking miracle, y'all. This man don't look like nothing happened to him. Don't look like nothing happened to him. So he was just saying how, like, when he sees certain people, it makes him cry and he get emotional. And he was talking about how he ran into the T.I. and he did another impression. It was beautiful. And he was just saying how he cried, and then he said he ran into Halle Berry, and that part was hilarious. Um, but basically, Halle Berry made him excited. Apparently, she was embracing him, and he was just saying the woman don't know how beautiful she is. She embracing him and hugging him, and he was like, "Oh God, this is the Halle Berry hugging me. I like this." And then she said, she happy to see him, but she embraced him, and she said she kissed him on the neck or something, and he couldn't hardly take it. And then he makes a joke because he got excited when he saw her, if y'all know what I mean. And then he was saying how he goes into Kendrick Lamar. He was having a talk with his Peter, and basically he was saying how he was excited because it was back working again. Because when he had the stroke, his Peter had the stroke too. So he was just saying how he was happy that his Peter was working again. And the Peter said sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. And then like Kendrick Lamar came on and everybody started dancing to Not Like Us. But yeah, it was great vibes. It was good. It was enough serious but enough like jokes to make you laugh at the same time. But yeah, it was a beautiful thing. And then he just talks about how he's not a clone and he can't be cloned because he's too original, right? What he do ain't nobody else doing, right? And then he goes down like memory lane. He was like, I gave y'all this. I gave y'all this. And he's showing, his character. Remember the girl character that he was? And he was showing kind of like all the movies he's been in. Basically showing his legacy, right? It was a beautiful moment. He started singing his songs, right? And, I'm jamming to his songs. And then he turns around with the shades on and he start doing the Ray Charles, and it was just beautiful. And Jamie Foxx is such a talent. He's such a talent. But yeah, he finished the song. He finished the special off with doing the Ray Charles impersonation. Then he sung I Got a Woman in town. But yeah, and then he goes into the song with Kanye West, right? He sung the other song, got a light-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson. Got a dark-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson. But yeah, it was just good times, and it's good to see that, he's still alive. He made it through, and he's this new and improved Jamie Foxx, right? He went through some hard times, and I'm hearing now in the news, I think he been involved in an altercation and somebody busted a glass, a bottle or something on him. He had to get stitches. So I'm trying to tell y'all, he must be on the God strong soldier list. But yes, I did not know Jamie Foxx went through all that. I didn't know the severity of his illness. But he's truly a miracle. I'm glad that he's still here, and I'm glad he was bold enough to tell his testimony, and it really touched a lot of people. I feel like I did take away something from this. Like I said, it's humbling. Don't get beside yourself. Don't think you higher than God, you better than God. Nothing can't happen to you. What? You better than so and so. Don't forget about God. No matter how big you get, no matter how small you feel you are, don't forget about God. But yeah, just a beautiful message. Netflix did an amazing job. Very touching, and I enjoyed it. I feel like I would recommend people to watch it. I would give it 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Great. And Jamie Foxx is very funny. Very funny. Like, I remember I laughed so hard one time I coughed. Like, man had me laughing hard. right? So yeah, it just makes me have more respect for Jamie. And the thing that I love is like he's still he's still the he's still out here, working and still an inspiration, right? But yeah, Jamie, drop that gospel song, drop that gospel album. I'm looking forward to you being in more movies. Love it. Enjoy your family. Glad you're okay. And I just love the positive vibes. I love that. But definitely a must watch. That's how I feel about that. Y'all let me know in the comments, did y'all watch it? Will you be watching it? What was your favorite part? Did you cry? What part made you cry? Y'all let me know in the comments. What do y'all rate it out of 10? Was it good? Y'all didn't like it? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe, do all that good stuff for me. I have some backup channels linked below. Okay, I am on Twitch. I am on Patreon. I'm out. I'll see y'all on my next one.